All right. A little something special for the WGGGMBUCC. It's a lyrical sculpture in the sand that I carve. This is Flash on the mic, now on the Algarve. From 40 to 60, we are on the attack. If I can just get some vitamin I from my back. Foot on the line, yeah, I'm ready to go. Or did I just pull a muscle? Hold on for a moment. Play it cool, just act like I'm young. Got flicks on my wrist and lyrics on my tongue. 10 more years left to go. Tricks from the past and a buttery flow. A little slow off the start, I like to call my speed brisk. The sunshine glints off my slow-moving disc. You know how it goes with the sand between my toes. I got none of the pivots, but all the throws. Yeah, I got some dodgy knees. Disc in my hand and the sun in the sky. My dad bod goes jiggle and my hucks they fly. The spirits are rising like a disc on the breeze, going miles out of bounds to the Portuguese seas. I played a point, yeah, I need a sub and a good long soak in an XL tub. Don't need to run anymore, I'm one of 14 handlers. Happy Gilmore this disc like we're all Adam Sandlers. I'm slow off the start, I like to call it brisk. The sunshine glints on my slow-moving disc. You know how it goes with the sand between my toes. We got none of the pivots, but all the throws. Alright, let's finish this off. My 6'2" still works in the bar. I can see from miles. Got drinks on my radar. Portimao party is the place we flee for the friends we see and these great memories. Yeah, I feel the spirit as I pull every sinew. Shatter my knees, yet we're gonna continue. Take this hand, better yet carry me from the beach to the bar, better yet to the sea. I'm slow off the start, I like to call my speed brisk. The sunshine glints off my slow-moving disc. You know how it goes with the sand between our toes. We got none of the pivots, but all of the throws.
It's the sound they make. Flamingos here in the background today. They're on lots of the jerseys. Today is the first day we've seen them. Welcome back to the World Great Grand Masters Beach Ultimate Club Championships here in Sardinia. I'm John Dock with Steph Rapazzo beside me as we're being offered some fruit by our hosts. Great venue, great food, sun, a little bit of wind today, but looking forward to another game here where we get chicken packs going up against Cooee Downunder, the Americans versus the Australians. Both teams 2 games so far. The Americans with 2 wins, the Australians with 2 defeats, going into the last round of pool games after this. So 2 more games each for these teams before we get to the knockout stages.
Yeah, chicken packs 15-3 over East Side Stories and then 13-4 over Carbone. Carbone ended up beating Cooee 9-6, and Cooee's other loss was to the Rainbow Warriors 12-9. So sounds like Cooee will have their hands full, but every new game's a new opportunity.
As Deaver walks it in here.
President of USAU Ultimate.
Better leave a good impression, so working it up well. Stuck on that sideline. That's the kind of trickier sideline to be stuck on. Got the win, but they center it nicely. And they make that one look pretty easy as Ruiz throws it, and I think it's Mascot who catches the score, and it was a little bit windy. They made that one look easy, and I think based on the scores I saw yesterday, you would say that this game strongly favors the American team, but you never know.
Mascot came over to introduce himself just prior to the start, scores the first goal. I was in the US Open YCC earlier this year, called his son in a game in the championship game, and they got the dub over there, so he'll be hoping to hold form and proving that it runs in the family. But there for the first goal, 30 years playing experience, the sports medicine physician Harris Mascot. First goal scorer for the Chicken Packs.
Their first brick also, as we going to get a good look now at the first Cooee Downunder offense. Might take about 3 minutes to get this one back into play. The wind really carries the disc as Goecki is going to make his way back into the brick mark. Pretty difficult wind to get passes off here now. I would say in the last game the wind wasn't much of a factor, but getting any kind of 15-20 meter throws upwind in this is not going to be easy. And it looks like they're all being all the defenders pushing their players deep. Guess they realise the same thing here. So see if they look to go deep straight away or if they just try and hit those big unders. Get that first really nice inside break across the field there. Looking for the reset, gets it. Greenfield with the disc. Gets the reset off under pressure. I think there was a pick called. That one is going to go back.
You're all good. Walk through, but don't stand in this area.
Sophie Leon here with the disc right in front of the end zone here. Basically, this is what you practice if you're setting up your end zone reps. It's basically this situation here, so we'll see what they can do here. Got Cooee at the front. Greenfield makes the cut, doesn't get it, looks dumb. Greenfield gets it second time of asking. Potential strip.
I think
Looks
more
like
of a foul than a strip. But Greenie's going to keep the disc.
Good pressure here by the defense. Going to be a tough spot to get out of here, but they do manage to jam it up the line and they throw that one in. Catch the score, get their first upwind. Job done. Greenfield with the score.
Yeah, Kirsty Greenfield cashes in for the goal. I thought the throw from Greenie to Greenie, John to Kirsty, about 5-6 throws ago, really opened it up across the field from the midway into the red zone. And from there, I thought they showed great patience. There was the strip, there was the foul. Great pressure. You got to say Chicken Packs were very tight on all those assignments. And it required patience. They showed some patience, and they come away with a leveling goal. We're here at 1 apiece.
Guessing the surnames being the same, maybe when you get to the Great Grandmasters, it's more common that they're related, I imagine. Maybe you know more, I don't know for sure.
The Greenies are long time lovers. And, yeah, I know their origin story between them. It was told, I believe, on the Best Perspective episode on ULTI.TV. You can go back and... Yeah, I think every pull has landed in the exact same spot so far.
Yeah.
There's a magnetic force on that one spot on the field.
It'll be a fun challenge to try and find out which couple has which Frisbee couple met, because it has been here the longest this weekend. I imagine they'd be running for top contenders in the world if they're playing at this tournament.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I guess you'd be good at sorting out disagreements in the household if you're an Ultimate player, you'd think so.
You would think so. You have experience there now, Doc.
As the deep shot goes up, great pressure, but it made it look somewhat easy for Ruiz on the end of that one. Didn't catch the thrower, but Ruiz with a nice grab. Decent pressure there by the defendo, Doroshenko, I think, but sometimes it's just one of those things. The other player has positions. If they can go up as high as you, it's just hard to get it sometimes. So
I thought Doroshenko had a chance there. He was coming in quicker, bigger body, and had good defensive position. Ruiz was in front, but Doroshenko, gave himself a chance, but excellent reception by Ruiz. You see some boaters out there in the... Is that a Zodiac? Is that inflatable? Or I can't tell, but I wouldn't mind being out on that boat.
It's a bit too windy for my liking at this size, but there's a lot of them there, so I wouldn't mind being the pilot or the captain, I'd say. Want to see them speed, create some waves, might go down. I remember when I was smaller, if there was a lifeboat near a beach, you'd make sure to run in, get knocked over by the waves. Maybe not the brightest idea, given I can't really swim that well, but
we know where this pole's going, right, Doc?
It's going out the other side, I guess.
Okay.
It's going to roll towards that magnet. So we get back underway here with Cooee on the disc, centers it. Cooee and Goecki back in the backfield here. Don't envy the throwers here. Cooee and Goecki. This is a difficult win to get any throws off in. So I imagine it's going to be either some big unders or a lot of resets right now, because the American defenders just standing under the Pack's defense, just not giving any free unders, realizing that any deep shots that go up are just going to be turnovers most likely, unless it's an absolute dime of a throw. A bit unlucky there. There was a bit of a gap, but just not enough, and Pack's going to get back going the other way. Deep shot straight away. Got two players wide open, and then they just slot it in. I think it was Schlosser with the assist, I think, giving it over to Deaver. And that's what I mean by this. Those unders are just, it's hard to hit those unders if they're pushing you deep, and it's hard to throw deep when the wind is like this.
Yeah, Goecki tried to thread the needle there. You see what he's looking at, but the wind, I think, was the great prevention there. Just held up the throw long enough for the defender to have too easy of a chance to step in front and knock it away. The greater disservice was defensively going the other way. Chicken Packs were off and running, and Cooee just a step behind there, giving him a bit too much space on a bit too many assignments, and made to look easy in the end. Two very open white shirts for the Chicken Packs goal.
Yeah, it's one of those things, sometimes you just realize we ain't stopping this unless they drop it, so why waste that energy sprinting down after them on the stand? Sometimes you can apply a little pressure. I think sometimes you just have to say, do you know what, we're in a bit of a we're a bit tough spot here, we'll say. No point wasting that energy. Maybe they might just drop it. Sometimes you see it, as we see here. It's Leon bringing it back in.
We got a bit of a zone going on here.
Yeah, we haven't seen too many zones, but I imagine they're going to be reasonably effective in this weather, with Greenfield getting it. Back to Leon. And you know it's a good defense when the other team is working really. Massive block. Great work on the force there. Really active. I think it was Strunk got to that one.
I mean, that whole zone was all about Strunk on the mark.
McDowell on the disc now. Going to be tough to get the disc off this sideline as they make it look easy. And you can see there, I think the defense was just hoping to keep him on that sideline, but they get it into the middle, and Good with the assist. Not entirely sure who caught the score. I think it might have been Krutzinger. I think, maybe, hopefully. But yeah, this Chicken Packs team, one of the teams that's been winning that we haven't seen yet, so it's good to see them on the first stream. And again, the wind conditions are a bit difficult, but they look comfortable on it with it so far. So if they can keep this up and maybe impress me in one or two more points where I'm like, ooh, that was nice, I think we can add them to the list of contenders. And like you said in the last game, there's a lot of contenders at this tournament.
It's one of the tournaments with the best parity that I know of, where so many teams have legit chances to win it.
And the magnet always a bit of a laugh there as the guy who wanted to set the disc who wasn't looking for it, and now they're in a nasty spot. But they're doing a good job here working out of it. And unable, just unfortunate drop. In these conditions, every catch is difficult. Lorenzen just unable to hold on to that one. And a short field for Chicken Packs. And it's Deaver just throws it in pretty easily to Donofrio. And that's another one for Chicken Packs. And again, I think just this wind, it's just a challenge. Sometimes people say wind can be the great equalizer, but it can also have the opposite effect sometimes. If it's just in your disc skill, throwing ability. If you just have that bit of an extra edge in the wind that the other team maybe doesn't have, it can really actually call that equalizer and push it the other way. So I find it's an equalizer when there's an athletic advantage, but if there's a disc skill advantage, it usually just favors the team that's ahead.
Fairly said, Doc. as packs stretch out to 5-1, 12 and a half minutes in, showing their strength, and we get a Cooee call, a very Australian bush call as they get going.
Back to Leon. Dewey throws it. Got to get a bit of motion here. They're getting it just back to Leon in the middle. Just unfortunate floats in the wind, and she's just unable to get a hand to it. McDowell with the block, and Chicken Packs off to the races here again with Middlebrook. And he just pops it in. Another somewhat quick and easy score there, Deaver with the one. And I know in the last game we almost made the joke at how quick the points were going, and this one they've actually possibly beaten that pace for more points. It was 2-0 inside 4 minutes in the last game, and it's 6-1 here, and probably
13.
Yeah, they're doing it faster. And
yeah, they are moving here. McDowell with the block, and it's Middlesbrough. I used to joke that he looks like a rugged Clint Eastwood style cowboy. I think more like, you know, he's like a truck driver. He's got that ruggedness about him. He came over this morning and said he had a bowl of nuts and bolts he was chewing on, washed it down with a glass of gasoline. Middlesbrough, just the epitome, at least aesthetically, of toughness, but seems to play with it too.
And I think, I mean, watching it, I've said they've looked good, but I think just the fact that they've gotten this many breaks this quickly, I would have to say Packs putting themselves into that bracket. I haven't seen the same wow moments maybe that I've seen in the other ones, but that also says something for it, given how easy it has looked to do the basics in these conditions. So definitely another contender here for the medals. I think by the end of the day we're going to have seen every one of the real contenders on the stream as the magnet draws in another disc.
But it's the wrong side, the right side of the line this time near the magnet.
Yeah.
That lands in and bounces out, so that's front corner.
Yeah, if this point goes longer than the previous ones, I'd be surprised. This is a nightmare position to come in with the disc. I wouldn't even bother guarding the deep here. I'd just put 5 players around the disc. If you get out of here, they're doing something right.
Woo!
Do the first part. That's a good throw to get out of that spot there. Over to
Chernenko had gone for it.
Shoots it deep. Not sure if there's going to be any. Yeah, there's a bit of a.
Yeah, I thought so too. I was wondering if the defense was just good enough, but yeah, you had to go through him to get it. Chernenko is going to keep it, and he's on the doorstep. You're going to have to eat your shorts, isn't that what you said, if they get out of that corner?
Yeah, maybe. I'm glad I didn't say it that thing. I like to be someone who follows through on my words, so I might have just chewed on them for a bit for you. But, well, they do get out of there, so that's very impressive. And in some of those throws, I know maybe there was one contested grab, I don't care, even just to get the disc that far, so.
Yeah, I actually thought the poorest throw of them all was the one that counted for the most, the one that Chernenko ended up getting because of the foul. But up until the huck from Cooee, they had some great throws. 2 up the line, Goecki involved, and then Chernenko with the outside in to find center again around the back was a really nice throw. Great, yeah, good poised bit of throwing by Cooee.
Yeah.
And despite being down a handful still, showing some signs of finesse and prowess in this wind.
Yeah, and they get this downwind break chance now, so it's I would say it's more like almost, although if you look at the flags you could argue it's maybe completely crosswind now, but a moment or two ago it was definitely more downwind. Now I'd say it's more crosswind, so blowing towards the sea. It's usually the other way, but we got a big lagoon behind us here, as you saw at the start, as another good pull. That one lands in and rolls out, but we'll see what Packs can do here. They haven't had to play O for a while, but they've had players rotating in, so I think it's Deaver coming in with the disc here. And Kreuzinger back in the handler space also. I was going to say I'd be very surprised if that deep shot went straight away, but Kreuzinger here. Nice throw, gets it over to Ruiz. I like the name Poached on the back of his jersey as a handler. It makes it's nice. I think they were going to say that's not a foot block, that was a kick out of your hands.
A strip or a foul or something, but it came flinging out.
Mickael gets it back underway.
We got another foul upfield there. Greenfield hits the deck. He bumps in
Bit of mosh
to
and
Ruiz, and yeah, they're back up on their feet, and we'll restart.
Deaver going to get it back underway here. Nice centering pass. Solid swinging here, moving it back and forth, but opening up the field downfield. That's a nice little throw up the line there by Kreuzinger. Gets out, I think, to mask it. I think it might be his second goal of the game, not 100% sure, but another confident offensive point by the Chicken Packs line. And I believe that means it's half now, so going to take a little break, come back in a minute or two and catch the second half of this, what has been a very, very fast first half.
We live in a world where everything can be referenced online. Imagine if the greatest moments in our sport were never filmed. Eurodisc continues to do what it takes to make free-to-watch live streams a reality. Let's leave nothing to the imagination. We'll consume the action live, and we'll support those that help to make it happen. If it wasn't streamed, it didn't happen. Eurodisc.
Oh my God! Somehow they do it!
I'm Steph Pazzo, and I must eat.
Sometimes commentator, sometimes food eater.
On my ultimate travels in 2023, I sampled culinary classics from all across Europe,
Oh, wow.
guided by some of your favorite ultimate players.
That's the Dutch hospitality for you right there.
I'll give you an insight into the secret spots that only the locals know of.
Are these the best schnitzels in Vienna?
Yes, of course.
Yes, of course.
Go find Steph Pazzo on YouTube. Like and subscribe and follow the European Ultimate Must Eat series.
Oh my goodness. That is unbelievable. And traded to Chen and made for it.
That was absolutely incredible.
Always on the move? You can keep up to date with ULTI.TV on all of our social media channels. Like, follow, subscribe, share us with a friend, or send us a message just to say hey. Thank you for supporting us in our mission to grow Ultimate everywhere.
And welcome back here to the second half of the World Great Grand Masters Beach Ultimate Club Championships. We have a 7-2 lead here for Chicken Packs over Cooee Downunder. The Americans,
Oh, that hurts.
everything going their way, including that drop pull. And I always like to praise the player who tries to catch a pull when it's in a catchable position. So sometimes you're going to drop them, but having someone who's willing to try and catch those pulls every time is worth it when they catch most of them.
You're right.
But Packs here going to give it straight back to them. I don't recall too many turnovers by Packs, so maybe a good sign as Cooee get this going again. They're going to get a second chance to play some offense from a similar position. Cooee on the disc here on the sideline. I like the idea. I think if he can get, with the force not on him there, if he could have looped that a bit more inside out, he could have maybe bent it around the defender, but it's easy saying it here. Not sure of exactly what it was from his view, but Pac's going to get a second chance here on the defense. As Deaver's on the disc again. shoots the high release backhand. That's such a nice throw into D'Onofrio. Catches it, and maybe one of the slower points this game, actually, given how fast the pace has been. We've got 10 points and we're 20 minutes in, and when you factor in the going to get the disc when it rolls out of bounds and the gap between points, these have been some very, very quick points.
Now what I'm also noticing here is that the Cashins have not been playing, or definitely not Jamie Cashin. Have I seen Grant Cashin out there? They are the husband and wife that do a lot of the damage, or I remember 2 years ago certainly were a big part of the offensive prowess for is that Grant Cashin with disc in hand right now ready to pull? Yes it is. So he's been playing, but Jamie Cashin has been doing a little bit less. So I wonder if that is based on reading some scores, expecting a manageable game, and like Kawhi Leonard, a little load management.
Little scouting. They do only have 5 female matching players, so giving one of them a game off is, maybe that's also the reason. Maybe big shifts in previous games and figured, hey look, we can manage this game, take a game off, don't even bother coming on, or go look at some of the other teams. We have seen a couple of teams doing a little bit of scouting at this so far. It is World Championships after all, and as much as many of these players would have played against each other over the years, you still want to take some notes to give yourself a chance to make it to the final. So we see balls are coming in here with the disc. It's a nice inside to Ailing. Gwartz on the disc in front of the end zone. Got lots of options. Did they hold on to it? I believe they did. I think it was Lorenzen was able to hold on to that one. I'm not sure. Did a good job, and Cooee finally getting one of those downwinds and finally adding one of their own quick points to the borders. They haven't had too many quick scores. They've had a lot of quick points.
Cooee getting their Cooees on. Sticky fingers by Lorenzen there. A great job by Ailing to set things up. Good defensive work as well on Ailing, really jamming the lane in front. But I think the heavy footsteps attracted some more of the defenders, opened up some space for Lorenzen to get free, and then she went out and made a hell of a play.
Yeah, 8-3 here now. As much as it seemed like a one-sided game, I feel like this has kind of been a trend in a couple of games with the American teams where they've just had a really fast start, and the other team's not necessarily doing a whole lot wrong. It's more just getting punished for every decision. And I guess when you consider that the rest of the world has been catching up to the US for so many years, it makes sense that at the Grandmasters age that there would be you would expect the US teams to be a bit more dominant given how the history of the sport has gone. So not a huge surprise to see the Americans dominating here. And they're looking to see if they can get this one another quick one here. Elliott on the disc. Moving it nice, it's looking easy. Deaver on it. Elliott again throws it in there. Singer with the score, and again just another point where it's looking like it's easy because it's just consistent things and basics done really well in the wind, and it's tough to chase people on the beach as well. So Chicken Pack's just getting the job done every time of asking and looking really consistent and not necessarily having to show us the wow moments, just doing the basics right and making it easy for themselves.
Good was working hard out there, and I want to give a shout out to Ternenko on that one. They had to seek secondary options twice and thrice because Ternenko was shutting down Good, who seemed to be the primary option. Again, good on Pax for being able to stay patient, identify their secondary and tertiary options when needed, and those options were opening up. But as hard as Good was working, I do believe he was in position to be a primary, certainly after they got into the red zone. And yeah, well done to John Turnenko to get the shutdown there.
And that pull works out well. It just rolls out over the sideline right in the front corner of the end zone. Basically the perfect pull if you're not going to land it, finish it on the field. They got that, looks like that zone is on again, and let's see if the Cooee can get out of here. They get the first pass off. It's G on the disc. It's Cooee now, stuck on that sideline and pushing it backwards to Leon. I think there's probably a pick call. Everybody just basically within touching distance of that sideline. Looks like we don't even have players on the field. Shoots it up deep. It's got hang time. I thought maybe there'd be enough time, but it just drifts out and not much chance there for Doucet to get that one. And I think this one's going to be one of the longer points given how far that disc is away and how slow the Pax players are walking. But sideline help there, going to speed things up by moving a little closer, and they're going to try and get the disc back in. I'm not sure, probably close to the halfway line maybe. Masket going to bring it back in here. It's mostly been on the receiving end of things now. We'll see how he does in the handler space. Over to McDowell. Middlebrook with the assist, I believe. Throws it nice and quick, and Masket started that play and he ends up, like I said, he's on the receiving end again, so gets it moving, takes off deep, ends up catching the next one. And another efficient looking score. They took their time to get that going, but the disc was, they spent more time picking up the disc than they did working it to the end zone.
Middlebrook chucking some hubcaps out there. Nice high release backhand to finish the point. And
10-3.
10-3, Doc. How much time? That's the bigger question. We're 30 minutes in here, almost to the second. So a fast scoring pace in this one. Pax are, hoping to slam the door and move on to the next one. They're going to want to be playing for the top seed positions and avoiding the pre-quarters.
Yeah, the teams in the, technically they have, it's not pre-quarters, but the top seed in each group will play later today to get the 1 to 4 seeding sorted out. So teams don't feel unlucky if they get the best team in the division in the semi because of seeding. That won't happen. As Cooee get it going back here now. Trying to work it more a little bit in the handler space, but doesn't work out, and Pac's going to get going nice and quick the other way. And Deaver to Appleyard. Nice little move there by Appleyard, and follows it up. Hits Strunk in the end zone, and just another quick one. Like I said, it feels like we're spending more time between the points than we are on the field. The only reason the points are taking longer is those when the disc gets thrown out of bounds, they have to go and get it. If you remove that, I would say it's 1 minute of rest between the points and then 1 minute of play and there's a score.
Appleyard's all over that point. Got the block. Nice, showing some pace first to get in front, the run through block, but then 2 touches on the conversion attempt. Putting his thumbprint on that one. And that makes it 11. So 2 away from a points win. Seems like the imminent outcome.
Deaver here with the pull, one of the few people I've seen reaching the end zone in this win so far. A little short that time, but it'll roll a small bit. Cooee gets it back to Rinko. Shoots deep. Looks like it's floating nicely. Great boxing out by the receiver, and he did the first part right. I'm not sure if they're going to have a discussion about it. I think that was a fair battle between the two players. I think Strunk might feel a little hard done by here if there's a call. It looked like he was trying to do his best, but the boxing out did look good. And then I think it's one of those. I think both players have somewhat of a reasonable point. I would probably say maybe it deserves to be a turn, but unless he felt he got his ankles clipped, not entirely sure. It's going to be contested or uncontested. Yeah, maybe a little bit fortunate there by Ailing. There's the sideline jokes about the no contest shouts. But they get the pass off. Cooee with the disc in front of the end zone. Back to Doroshenko. Throws it in. They do get the score at the second or third time of asking this way. I think it was Schmid with the score.
Doroshenko turning on the Jets there. Managing director of the European Language Industry Association. Another cool job. I know that he played for Rochester's Zebra Mussels. There they are, looking at his bio.
Zebra Mussels. It's just
Yep.
someone must have been. Sometimes you wonder where teams come up with names. I mean,
It was definitely, their logo was a zebra flexing, was what they had.
Australian team with zebras.
No, that was from Rochester, New York. Chernenko's an American on the Australian team.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. He's living in Italy.
Yeah. Costa Rica Grandes played. He was the coach of La Fota for some time.
He's now, but he lives too far away.
Yeah, now he's into Rimini. So I know this is the first time Greeny and Chernenko have played together. So a couple legends connecting.
It's good to have you here for this extra insight. It's only yesterday I realized how long you've been in the game compared to me. Cashin swings it, and it's going to be a foul called by Ruiz.
Foul called, strongly contested. I mean, accepted.
Do said, happy on that one. One of those veteran ones where he almost drew the foul. As they get back underway here, and Donofrio gets it in there, and I think it's Deaver with the score. Another just quick one, and that's 12 inside 36 minutes.
Scintillating play. That was very fast movement. I'd say no stall counts in the 4 or 5 passes after the foul there. One side to the other. And it was Ruiz who was really using the speed to either give and go or make Cooey's defense adjust a bit and kind of come off and recognize him passing. And setting up some space for the other PAX members.
Yeah, I think PAC's going to be wanting to come out here now and try and just finish this one early. They've been doing so well so far. They're not going to want to take like 10 minutes to finish this last point. So see if they can get it done, or if Cooey can score the downwind and keep themselves in the game a little bit longer. And I think just with the sheer pace of how quick these points have gone in as the game has gone on, I feel like PAX have gotten almost a little bit better as the game has gone on. They're definitely in the mix now. I think there's only one main team left to see is
Spangled,
and after that I think I'd be confident in trying to make my prediction, although
you got to see the Scandinavian. Well, sorry, we can't call Finns Scandinavians. You got to see the Nordics too, Finland and Rainbow Warriors. Then I believe you've seen all the contenders.
Woo! Cooee with a nice grab there to catch that one and hold on to it, and you want to keep it alive a little bit longer. Great job there to hold on to that one.
Yeah, Chris Cooee with the honey hands. Showing some, I guess in Australians, maybe some Vegemite left on the hands.
Not a fan of that. It's recently entered our household. I had words with herself about it, saying, hey, what's this nonsense doing in this household?
I love Vegemite. I mean, for the right time. I couldn't have it as a daily, but you know, like the day after plenty of beverages, to have a light spread of butter on toast with a light spread of Vegemite and a fried egg on top.
I think in Ireland we call it bovril, and I just remember younger when my father used to eat it, and there's just a smell off it, and I was like, "Man, like what's wrong with you?" In my head, I was like, "How can you eat something that smells like that?" And I've never actually tasted it. I'll admit that. Just sometimes
the
you see
smell alone can throw you off the scent.
Yeah. So, but you know, I'm known for my strict diet. If it's not good for me, or I'm not certain it's good for me, it doesn't get consumed, as everyone knows. This might be the longest point of the game based on how far that pull went out. Can't say too much. I had one out there yesterday, nearly took the head off some passers-by when I was trying to see how windy it was. I was like, windy, very windy.
It was a failed test.
I decided I need to go out and throw one so I know what these players are actually dealing with. And as I say often, if you're a viewer at home, sometimes it's hard to factor in the wind, and you might just think, oh, these players are terrible, they can't throw. And it's like, until you've thrown one or two in the wind and you realize what they're dealing with. Pack's going to try and get this one back here. It's good with the disc. She throws it just a little bit short. Cooee going to try and get a chance to get an upwind break here. Doroshenko with the disc. Shows the high release, gets it to Oort. Nice hands there by Schmid. Doroshenko holds on to that one.
He was draped by Cash in there.
Nice inside break there, and shoots it, and just, I think it was, I'm not sure if it was underthrown. I mean, it was somewhat overthrown, I think, by Oort there. But unlucky not to get that upwind break. I think if the receiver had known a little earlier it was going over their head, I think Lorenzen might have been able to react in time to get it. As Packer going back the other way, and again just making it look effortless. Again, Diva on the disc here, and throw looks good, and just finishes it off with Cash and catching that score. And again, just another throw that just looked very easy but wasn't so easy, and I believe that's going to be the game now.
Yeah, Packs get it done. I wouldn't say with ease, but they took care of business. Cooee had moments that they shone, and they take another loss. So they've got a pretty tough group, it must be said. So they'll look to rebound for their last game that will be on stream. Cooee Downunder taking on Eastside Stories, but that one will be after what's next, and that is Saladitos coming back on stream to take on Courier Island. Make sure you are locked in for that one.
Yeah, so we're looking forward to that anyway, so tune in. Another game will be coming up shortly, I believe, in about, not shortly, about half an hour, I think. So if you're going to have a quick little lunch break, go get it now, put your lunch on, come back and join us for the final 2 rounds of group game, and we will then be on lunch break ourselves and get into the pre-quarter stage of the tournament. So looking forward to seeing you back here shortly for the next stream. Saladitos, Courier Islands, been John Doff and Steph Rapasso here. See you again shortly.
Thanks.
Yeah, ultimate.
ULTI.TV.